Kellyn Acosta got there! And the tying goal for the United States!
What a golazo by Kellyn Acosta!
And a shot goal, Kellyn Acosta!
The Los Angeles sun cuts through the palm trees, casting long shadows across the training ground. A soccer ball rolls across perfectly manicured grass. Each touch deliberate, each movement fluid. Kellyn Acosta doesn't just play the game, he embodies it. Black and Latino, Texas roots and California dreams, MLS homegrown and World Cup proven. In a sport that often forces you to choose heritage, identity, homeland, he chose all of it. And in doing so, became something rare in American soccer. A champion who never had to leave home to prove he belonged on the world stage. This is the story of the midfielder who turned dual identity into double pride. The Plano kid who collected trophies in his own backyard. The fashionable champion who made staying in MLS look like the smartest move in American soccer. Los Angeles. Championships. Culture. Style. Welcome to Kellyn Acosta's world. American soccer has always had an inferiority complex. For decades, the best players fled to Europe, as if legitimacy could only be earned in foreign jerseys, on foreign soil, speaking foreign languages. But Kellyn Acosta represents a different blueprint, a new American confidence. Born to a black father and a Mexican mother in the sprawling Dallas suburbs, he grew up navigating worlds that didn't always intersect. In a sport dominated by one narrative, he brought two. In a culture that demanded assimilation, he demanded recognition of all of him. And when the time came to build his legacy, he didn't chase European contracts or chase validation overseas. He stayed home, won championships, represented his country at a World Cup, and built a life in Los Angeles that reflects both the trophies he's earned and the heritage he's never hidden. This is the story of how identity becomes strength, how staying becomes winning, and how a kid from Texas became the face of American soccer's multicultural future. One trophy, one touch, one perfectly curated Instagram post at a time. Kellyn Acosta was born July 24, 1995, in Plano, Texas, a sprawling suburb north of Dallas where strip malls stretch for miles, and Friday night lights illuminate football fields, not soccer pitches. But in the Acosta household, soccer wasn't just a sport. It was a language, a bridge. His father brought Black American culture, the grit, the resilience, the understanding that excellence in this country often requires proving yourself twice. His mother brought Mexican heritage, the passion for football, the family-centered values, the pride that transcends borders. Kellyn grew up bilingual in more ways than one: English and Spanish, black and brown. American dreams filtered through dual lenses. In Plano's youth soccer leagues, he was often one of the few black players. In predominantly Latino clubs, he was sometimes questioned for not being Latino enough. In American soccer spaces that centered whiteness, he was both. But on the field, none of it mattered. The ball doesn't see color. It only sees skill. And Kellyn Acosta had skill. He moved through the Dallas-Fort Worth soccer ecosystem with a confidence that belied his age. Quick feet, sharp vision, the kind of technical ability that makes coaches lean forward in their seats. By his early teens, he was on the radar of FC Dallas, one of MLS's premier youth academies, known for turning local talent into professional stars. The FC Dallas Academy wasn't just a training ground, it was a proving ground. A place where American kids could develop without fleeing to Europe, where homegrown talent could be nurtured into MLS-ready professionals. Kellyn joined the system in his early teens, and immediately the coaches saw it: maturity beyond his years. A work ethic forged by parents who understood that opportunity isn't given, it's earned. And a bicultural perspective that gave him an edge in reading the game, in understanding teammates from every background. He wasn't the loudest, he wasn't the flashiest, but he was consistent, composed, the kind of player who made everyone around him better. By 2013, at just 18 years old, Kellyn Acosta signed a homegrown contract with FC Dallas. Not a draft pick, not a trade acquisition. Homegrown. A title that carries weight in MLS. Proof that American soccer can produce its own stars. That you don't have to import talent when you invest in development. For Kellyn, it was more than a contract. It was validation. The kid from Plano, raised between cultures, was now a professional. And he was just getting started. Being a homegrown signing is one thing. Becoming a cornerstone is another. Kellyn Acosta's early years at FC Dallas were a study in patience and precision. He made his professional debut as a teenager, young, hungry, still learning the speed and physicality of men's professional soccer. But even then, coaches saw the tools. Field vision that anticipated plays before they developed. Technical ability that allowed him to control tempo. And a maturity that made him coachable, adaptable, ready. He played multiple roles. Defensive midfielder. Box-to-box presence. Wherever the team needed stability, Kellyn provided it. And then came 2016, the year everything crystallized. FC Dallas assembled one of the most dominant teams in MLS history that season. Dynamic attack, stingy defense, a chemistry that made them nearly unstoppable. And anchoring the midfield, game after game, was Kellyn Acosta. The supporters' shield, awarded to the team with the best regular season record, came first. FC Dallas finished atop the league, a statement that American soccer could produce tactically sophisticated, globally competitive teams. Then came the US Open Cup, the oldest soccer competition in the United States, a tournament that spans professional and amateur clubs. FC Dallas navigated the chaos, the upsets, the pressure, and when the final whistle blew, they were champions. Kellyn Acosta, just 21 years old, had won 2 major trophies in one season, but the biggest stage was still ahead. Around this time, the United States men's national team came calling. For Kellyn Acosta, wearing the crest wasn't just about soccer, it was about representation. He was one of the few Afro-Latino players in the USMNT pool, a visible reminder that American soccer, like America itself, is multicultural. He didn't have to choose between his Black identity and his Latino heritage. He could be both. He was both. His debut came in the mid to late 2010s, a period of transition for American soccer. The national team was rebuilding, searching for identity after years of inconsistency. And Kellyn was part of the new wave, homegrown MLS talent proving they belonged on the international stage. He wasn't a guaranteed starter. He wasn't the flashiest name on the roster, but he was reliable, versatile, the kind of player coaches trust in moments that matter. And as his club career continued, so did his international ambitions. In 2018, FC Dallas traded Kellyn Acosta to the Colorado Rapids. It wasn't a move he requested. It wasn't a step up in prestige. The Rapids were struggling, rebuilding, far from contention. But in MLS, trades are part of the business. And for Kellyn, it became an opportunity to prove something. That his value wasn't dependent on being surrounded by stars. That he could anchor a midfield in adversity, not just in triumph. The Colorado years were hard. Losing seasons, coaching changes, altitude that punishes lungs and legs. But Kellyn Acosta showed up, game after game, providing consistency in chaos. He matured as a player, learned to lead when the wins weren't coming, became a voice in the locker room, not because he demanded attention, but because his work ethic earned respect. And all the while, his dream was forming. If he was going to build something special, if he was going to win championships again, he needed the right stage. He needed Los Angeles. In 2022, Kellyn Acosta signed with Los Angeles FC. LAFC wasn't just another MLS team, it was a statement. Since its founding in 2018, the club had positioned itself as MLS's most ambitious franchise, star signings, passionate fan base, a gleaming stadium in the heart of Los Angeles. They wanted championships. They wanted to prove that American soccer could compete with the world's best leagues. And they wanted Kellyn Acosta to help them do it. He arrived in LA not as a savior, but as a piece, a crucial, versatile midfielder who could defend, distribute, and control tempo. The kind of player championship teams are built on. And 2022? That was the year it all came together. LAFC dominated the regular season, winning the Supporters' Shield with the best record in MLS. Their attack was relentless, their defense disciplined, and in the middle of it all, orchestrating the rhythm, was Kellyn Acosta. Then came the MLS Cup playoffs. High stakes, pressure mounting, every mistake magnified. But LAFC navigated the chaos. And on a cold December night in 2022, they lifted the MLS Cup, the league's ultimate prize. Kellyn Acosta was a champion again, but this time it felt different. This time it was in Los Angeles, a city where dreams are manufactured, where image matters as much as substance, where winning isn't just about trophies, it's about legacy. Just weeks after winning MLS Cup, Kellyn Acosta boarded a plane to Qatar, the 2022 FIFA World Cup, the pinnacle of soccer, the tournament every player dreams of since childhood. And Kellyn Acosta, the kid from Plano, the Afro-Latino midfielder, the homegrown MLS product, was on the United States roster. He didn't start every game. He wasn't the headline, but he was there, ready, representing not just a country, but a generation of American players who refused to believe they had to leave home to be world class. The tournament didn't end in glory for the USMNT, but for Kellyn, it was proof. You can build a championship career in MLS. You can represent your country at the highest level. You can be Black and Latino and American and never apologize for any of it. And when the World Cup ended, he returned to Los Angeles. Not as a player chasing validation, but as a champion who had already found it. In 2022-23, LAFC added another trophy, the US Open Cup. Kellyn's third Open Cup title, solidifying his place among the most decorated American players of his generation. The trophies were piling up, the respect was undeniable, and the city, Los Angeles with its palm trees and sunshine and endless possibilities, was home. Los Angeles isn't just a city, it's a stage, a place where athletes become brands, where winning becomes lifestyle, where every street corner whispers possibility. And for Kellyn Acosta, LA represents the culmination of a journey that started in the Dallas suburbs and wound through Colorado's altitude before landing here, in the city where sunshine meets ambition, where soccer is finally treated like the global game it is. Unlike traditional athlete luxury narratives dripping with mansion tours and garage unveilings, Kellyn's Los Angeles life operates differently. More curated, more intentional, less about broadcasting wealth and more about embodying it through choices, through presence, through the careful construction of image in a city built on image. He's based in the sprawling Los Angeles metro, likely somewhere between the beaches and the hills, where soccer players and entertainment industry figures occupy the same neighborhoods, where morning coffee spots double as networking hubs, where the Pacific Ocean provides a backdrop that never gets old. The specifics remain private. No real estate listings leaked to tabloids. No MTV Cribs-style walkthroughs. Just the understanding that in Los Angeles, at his level, with his championship pedigree, the real estate is as carefully selected as his playing position. This is intentional privacy in the age of oversharing, strategic silence in a culture of noise. Scroll through Kellyn Acosta's social media and you'll notice something. The man understands presentation, clean fits, designer-adjacent aesthetics, the kind of style that suggests he pays attention, not obsessively, not performatively, but consistently. Soccer culture has evolved. The days of athletes showing up in baggy sweats are over. Now, tunnel walks are runways. press conferences are photo ops, and players who understand this understand power. Kellyn gets it. His fashion sense isn't about flexing logos or drowning in supreme drops. It's more refined than that. More considered. The kind of style that whispers rather than shouts, fitted outerwear, clean sneakers, accessories that complete rather than dominate an outfit. In a league where many players still dress like they're heading to practice, Kellyn dresses like he's heading somewhere that matters. And in Los Angeles, that matters. There are no confirmed designer brand partnerships flooding his contract portfolio. No Nike or Adidas campaigns with his face plastered across billboards. But the aesthetic is there, the suggestion of taste, the evidence of someone who understands that in modern sports, your brand extends beyond the field. This is the luxury of discernment, of knowing that you don't need to announce every purchase to prove you can afford it. Let's address the reality. MLS money isn't Premier League money. It isn't La Liga money. Even the league's highest earners don't approach the astronomical figures thrown around in European soccer. But here's what MLS offers that Europe often doesn't: stability, quality of life, the ability to build a life in a city like Los Angeles without the pressure of learning a new language, navigating a foreign culture, or being an ocean away from family. Kellyn Acosta's LAFC contract, signed in 2022, reflects this calculus. While exact figures aren't broadcast like European transfers, MLS Players Association data reveals salary structures. Top players in the league earn six-figure to low seven-figure salaries. Not billionaire money, but substantial, especially when combined with endorsements, appearances, and the lifestyle flexibility that comes with being a champion in a world-class city. The wealth here isn't about yachts and private jets. It's about choice. The choice to live in Los Angeles while playing at the highest level of American soccer. The choice to represent your country without expatriating yourself. The choice to build equity in real estate, in investments, in a life that doesn't revolve entirely around the next contract negotiation. This is wealth as foundation, not performance. There are no verified reports of exotic car collections, no garage filled with Lamborghinis or custom Ferraris detailed across YouTube channels. But this is Los Angeles. And in Los Angeles, even the most private athletes need to move. The question isn't whether Kellyn drives something nice. It's what nice means to someone who values discretion as much as achievement. Given his position, his salary tier, his championship status, it's reasonable to assume. Clean, capable vehicles that match the LA aesthetic without demanding attention. Maybe something German. Engineered precision that mirrors his playing style. Maybe something that blends into the landscape of a city where luxury cars are as common as palm trees. The point isn't the specific model. The point is the philosophy. In a city where everyone performs wealth, not performing it becomes its own kind of power. But perhaps the most interesting element of Kellyn Acosta's luxury world isn't material at all. It's cultural. He embodies a fusion that's rare in American soccer, the intersection of Black American confidence and Latino soccer passion. He moves through spaces that often keep these identities separate, bringing both with him, refusing to code switch or diminish either for the comfort of others. This is luxury that money can't buy. Authenticity in a world of performance. Wholeness in a culture of fragmentation. When he posts family moments, when he engages with both English and Spanish-speaking fans, when he represents a USMNT that's slowly, finally, beginning to reflect the actual diversity of American soccer players, he's doing something more valuable than showing off a watch collection. He's showing a generation of kids who look like him. Black, Latino, both, neither, everything in between. That they don't have to choose. That they can be whole. That American soccer has room for all of them. That's a luxury legacy can't replicate. Kellyn Acosta keeps his personal life exactly where he wants it. Personal. In an era where athletes monetize their relationships, where engagement announcements become content, where children's births are sponsored posts, Kellyn has drawn a line. His family, the foundation laid by his black father and Mexican mother, remains largely outside the public narrative. Not because he's ashamed or hiding, but because some things are meant to be sacred, not social media strategy. What we know is what he's chosen to share. That his parents' influence shaped not just his soccer ability, but his worldview. That growing up navigating dual cultures taught him resilience, adaptability, emotional intelligence that translates to reading the game at the highest level. His mother's Mexican heritage gave him access to a soccer culture that lives and breathes the sport, where football isn't just a game, but a language of passion, strategy, beauty. Where defending your team isn't casual fandom, but identity. His father's Black American perspective gave him the understanding that excellence in this country often means overcoming systems not designed for your success. That representation matters. That visibility carries responsibility. Together, they raised a son who understands. You can honor both sides of yourself without diluting either. Kellyn's romantic life remains veiled. No wedding announcements, no relationship timelines, documented across gossip sites. No partner paraded through Instagram grids for engagement metrics. If there's someone sharing the journey with him, they exist in the space beyond the algorithm. Private dinners instead of posted stories, real conversations instead of curated captions. And maybe that's the point. Maybe in a culture that turns every relationship into reality TV, into clickbait, into content to be consumed and discarded, choosing privacy is its own kind of rebellion. The most secure relationships don't need witnesses. They need trust. And if Kellyn Acosta has learned anything from navigating professional soccer, where careers are short, where pressure is constant, where one bad season can end a dream, it's that what you protect is as important as what you share. Soccer careers are brutal in their brevity. The average MLS career spans just a few years. Even the best players have maybe a decade, 15 years if they're lucky and diligent and avoid catastrophic injury. Kellyn Acosta, approaching 30, understands this better than most. He's already collected more trophies than most American players ever will. He's already represented his country at a World Cup. He's already proven that you don't have to leave MLS to build a championship legacy. But he's not done. And the way he carries himself, the discipline, the consistency, the refusal to get caught up in drama or distraction, suggests someone playing the long game. Not just on the field, but off it. Whatever he's building in Los Angeles, whatever investments he's making, whatever foundation he's laying, it's designed to outlast the final whistle, to provide security when the roar of the crowd fades, to ensure that the kid from Plano who made it to the top doesn't fall when gravity finally wins. This is wisdom that can't be taught. It has to be lived. Kellyn Acosta didn't ask to be a symbol, but in American soccer, where the default image of success has historically been white or exclusively Latino, he became one anyway. An Afro-Latino face in spaces that often separate these identities. A reminder that American soccer is, and always has been, more diverse than its marketing suggests. He doesn't wear this responsibility like a burden. He wears it like the captain's armband, with pride, with awareness, with the understanding that visibility matters. Young players who share his background see him and understand. There's room for them too. Mixed heritage kids navigating complex identity questions see him and learn. You don't have to choose. Black and brown communities that love soccer but rarely see themselves reflected in USMNT rosters see him and feel representation. This isn't activism in the traditional sense. It's existence as statement, presence as power. And in a sport still wrestling with issues of access, opportunity, and who gets to define American soccer, Kellyn Acosta's career is evidence that the future looks different from the past. More diverse, more inclusive, more honest about who actually plays this game. Los Angeles has always been a soccer city. Massive immigrant populations, youth leagues in every neighborhood, pickup games in parks from Echo Park to the South Bay. But for years, professional soccer in LA struggled to capture the city's energy. The Galaxy won championships but felt distant. Chivas USA failed and folded. The city deserved better. Then came LAFC, and with it, a different energy. A downtown stadium. A supporters section that rivals anything in global soccer. A roster built not just on aging stars cashing paychecks, but on ambitious players in their prime wanting to win now. Kellyn Acosta arrived right as this culture crystallized. He wasn't the biggest name, but he was essential. The kind of player who doesn't dominate highlights, but dominates games. The kind of presence that allows stars to shine, because the foundation is secure. In LA's soccer renaissance, he's a crucial thread. Proof that American players developed in American systems can anchor championship teams. Proof that staying home isn't settling. It's betting on yourself and your country. And when LAFC lifts trophies, when the 32-52 supporters section erupts, when kids in Boyle Heights and Inglewood and Compton see themselves reflected in the team, Kellyn Acosta is part of that tapestry, not the loudest thread, but woven in deep. For decades, American soccer players faced an impossible choice: stay home and be dismissed as MLS quality, or chase European dreams and risk being forgotten back home. Kellyn Acosta represents the generation, saying, why not both? He built his foundation in MLS, won championships in MLS, earned his World Cup roster spot while playing in MLS. And when he walks through Los Angeles, winner, champion, representative of his country, he does so knowing he never had to leave to prove his worth. This shift matters, not just for him, but for every young American player weighing their options. For every teenager wondering if they need to move to Germany or Spain or England to make it. Kellyn's career says, you can make it here. You can build wealth here. You can win trophies here. You can represent your country from here. The European path isn't wrong, but it's not the only path. And for an Afro-Latino kid from Texas who became a champion without ever leaving home, that's a legacy worth more than any single trophy. As Kellyn Acosta's career continues, more games, more goals, more trophies hopefully still to come, his impact extends beyond the field. He's proof that modern athletes can have style without sacrificing substance, that you can care about fashion and still care about winning. That cultural identity isn't a checkbox or a marketing angle. It's lived experience that enriches everything you do. In Los Angeles, a city obsessed with image, he's built an image worth respecting. Champion, professional, culturally grounded, aesthetically aware, strategically private. And when kids see him, black kids, Latino kids, mixed kids, immigrant kids, American-born kids, they see possibility, not just on the soccer field, but in life. The possibility of being whole, of honoring every part of yourself, of building success on your terms, in your country, without apology or compromise. That's the luxury no price tag can capture. That's the legacy Kellyn Acosta is writing. One touch, one trophy, one intentional choice at a time. The final whistle will blow someday. The cleats will be hung up. The stadium lights will fade into memory. But what Kellyn Acosta represents, that doesn't end with retirement. He walked into American soccer as a question the sport didn't know it needed to answer. What does it look like when you don't have to choose? When Black and Latino aren't competing identities, but complementary truths? When staying home isn't settling, but strategic? And he answered with trophies, with World Cup appearances, with a life built in Los Angeles that reflects both the championships he's earned and the cultures he's never compromised. 3 U.S. Open Cups, 2 Supporters' Shields, an MLS Cup, a World Cup roster spot, and counting. Kellyn Acosta didn't become the loudest voice in American soccer. He became something more valuable. Proof. Proof that MLS can develop world-class talent. Proof that American soccer is more diverse than its history suggests. Proof that you can honor your heritage, all of it, while building a legacy that transcends any single identity. Somewhere in Plano, Texas, there's a kid with a black parent and a Latino parent, wondering if soccer is for them, wondering if they have to pick a side. And the answer, written in Kellyn Acosta's career, his championships, his unapologetic embrace of every part of himself, is clear. Not only is there room, there's a blueprint. Stay true, stay focused, and let the work speak louder than the noise. This is Kellyn Acosta's luxury life, not defined by what he flaunts, but by what he's earned. Not measured in Instagram posts, but in impact. The Black-Latino champion with designer taste and championship substance. The midfielder who doesn't just control games, he changes conversations. And the proof that American soccer's future is more beautiful, more diverse, and more powerful than its past ever imagined. If Kellyn Acosta's journey resonated with you, if his refusal to choose between identities inspired you, if his championship success while staying in MLS challenged your assumptions about American soccer, if his style and substance showed you what modern excellence looks like, we need you to do something. Smash that like button. Let us know this kind of deep dive into Black and Latino excellence matters to you. Subscribe to Black Empire Files for more stories that honor the full complexity of Black brilliance, the culture, the luxury, the heritage, the legacy that goes deeper than headlines. Drop a comment below. Who should we cover next? What part of Kellyn's story hit different for you? Are you inspired by athletes who stay in MLS and build championship legacies at home? We read every single comment, and your voice shapes the narratives we tell. This channel isn't just about luxury cars and mansion tours. It's about the luxury of authenticity, the wealth of cultural pride, the legacy of representation. And we're building this community with you. See you in the next episode.